Well, folks, I gotta admit, overall, this was not a stellar week for Beyond the Gates. I think the main highlight is that for the most part, my reviews were on time, but other than that, nah. But hey, that's to be expected. Not every, slab of episodes is going to be a banger after banger, but it was okay enough. I mean, at least we got the introduction to Isaiah, seemingly the departure of Donnell, but I highly doubt that he's really going to just go back to school like his mom asked him to. But yeah, I mean, it looks like we have some interesting setup for some friction between different pairings on the show, and I guess I'm here for that. Either way, I'm going to give this episode about a 7 out of 10. Wasn't bad. I thought it was okay. Now, as always, side note, thank you to everybody who left comments on Thursday's review letting me know the audio was perfect. Great. Just wanted to make sure this new cable was worth the money. And yeah, turns out to be the right call. So just for future reference, when and if there's ever any sort of issue, let me know in the comments, because your comments don't just give me feedback about the episode like, hey, I agree with you on this, or you missed something. Letting me know how I can improve the quality of these videos is what it's all about. And without your support, hey, the channel wouldn't be what it is today. Side note, if you want to become a channel member, feel free to do so. I believe the join button is down there somewhere. I know on my main channel I have about 9 or 10 members right now, and it's slowly growing, and it really does mean a lot. But making it to the end of my videos, basically hitting play and watching the whole thing, helps with audience retention. Long story short, all those little things like liking and subscribing go a long way to helping this channel grow. So, with that being said, Chelsea and Madison are at the... Wow, wait. Have we seen them at the country club together before? I don't know. Hospital, Uptown. I don't I don't know. Is it? Yeah, let me know in the comments. Is this our first time seeing them there? Now, Chelsea talks about, her sister's issues while Madison tells her to, stay out of the situation. Although Chelsea's a bit taken aback since nothing ever seemed to faze Madison before, yet she has these, I don't know, moments of emotion. And then that's when Madison goes off when she gets a text message from her mom. And it turns out that she hasn't spoken to her in months because she's into uh, tarot guides and doesn't truly accept her being LGBT. Now, what did she say? Woo woo tarot guides. Now, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that like tarot cards? I mean, the moment I heard, I instantly thought of that phone number. Look, I was 90s baby here, so what was her name? Miss Cleo, that fortune teller or whoever, who said, hey, if you call this number, I can read these cards and tell you your future and all this other stuff. Now, Chelsea makes light of it, and even though Madison thinks tarot reading is dumb, Chelsea admits she dabbles in it too. So this seems like the in-universe comparison to you dating someone and they're into astrology. now, they pretty much, have a stalemate where Chelsea's like, can we just agree to disagree? No. It's a lack of respect on my mom's part that makes me upset with her. And that's when Chelsea defends the mom and is shown a message where Madison's mom tells her to use oils on her patients instead of medicine. And it's like, yeah, she's one of those people. Now, she talks about wellness because she sees it all over social media and is drawn in. And I actually like this conversation only because it led to an open conversation about how people sometimes allow certain things to guide them, whether it be a fortune cookie, astrology, tarot cards, and those who prefer the quote unquote spiritual or all natural remedies versus modern medicine. Interesting. Now, Chelsea learns that this is why, Madison gets all squirrely when she's online too much, which, this is her profession. And then Madison complains her mom is tagging her and all that garbage. Madison, just block her. So that's when she actually had one of her patients quit on her because of her mother's post. And Chelsea gets it, and that's and that's when she's like, oh, I get it. It's just like, you and your mom are kind of at odds, kind of like my mom and I, in terms of her randomly getting married to Andre in Vegas. So that's when Madison goes to the restroom while Chelsea goes to social media to ask her fans, if they had a chance, would you try to reunite a loved one with their mother? And that's when Madison comes back and yet again tries to defend Willow. And it's like, I can see why she is Naomi's sister, because they just will not stay out of business that has nothing to do with them. And Madison talks about the last fight they had where they called each other names. And that's when Madison, has gone without any sort of contact for mom, which upsets Chelsea. And that's sweet and all. But the thing is, not everyone has a great relationship with their parent or parents. Just because, I don't know, you grew up in a 2-parent household. And look, granted, Bill and Dani, they got a divorce, but both of their daughters were grown and out of the house, And it wasn't the perfect marriage because Naomi, the cheating and everything, she knew about that. But overall, just because you live in a quote-unquote stable household, that doesn't mean everybody, because think of it this way. Chelsea, both of your parents were accepting of you coming out or acknowledging your by experimental sexuality. That doesn't mean Madison's parents or mom will too. And she just gave you a small taste of, hey, this is how crazy my mom is. Well, let me get you back together. Now, that's when she opens up her phone and reads that 45% voted on reuniting the loved one with their mom. So she tells Madison how amazing that natural stuff is, and that they, and they agree to meet at the spa before Madison goes. And that's when Chelsea jumps back on her phone, seeing that 73% don't want her to reunite her friend with their mom. And yet she disagrees with them. Okay, folks, this is the thing. Obviously, my following is nowhere near as big as Chelsea. And I know this channel itself is almost at 12,000 subscribers. My main channel is about 2,000 away from 300,000 people. Regardless of what channel I pick. If I put up a poll saying, you know what, I'm thinking about reviewing such and such a show. And if 73% of the people said don't review it, I'm most likely not going to review it. Now, would I just test the waters and do one video? And if that video did extremely well, I'm like, well, dang, this one show that people told me they didn't want me to review, I posted it on My Kind of Entertainment, and that video got like 6,000 hits. And that's more than my Beyond the Gates reviews from an entire week. So I'm going to still review the show. But in terms of real life, this is stupid. Like, I don't know what Chelsea... It's like, oh, you want to do something special for your girlfriend because her and her mom are at out. You don't really know the full story. And I feel like you're opening Pandora's box when you really don't need to. Now, right outside, well, actually, on the other side of the country club, Vanessa tells Donnell that he's going back to college tonight. And he's like, no. And he's thinking about, he's on some sort of like micro retirement. So that's when they go to a table and she scoffs at his idea of being some sort of slacker. But the dean agrees he can return and make up any and all work he's missed. So she puts her foot down, and even when he says, I'm staying, period, she sits him down like, look, okay, here's the thing. I don't even know. It's almost like Vanessa's like, look, you being here is cramping my style, and I can't be a mob wife with you hanging around, okay? So go back to school and look after your sister. So, I mean, she's literally gaslighting her son and uses the memory of Doug to manipulate him to go back and, watch after his sister, be there for her. And the fact that she's struggling so bad she couldn't even come to the funeral. So that's when Vanessa, puts some tears in her eyes, so to speak, and tells him it's time to hit the road. So she says that, look, I'm proud of you. So I'm thinking to myself, well, dang, I mean, why not take him back to the school yourself so you can see your grieving daughter? But whatever. Now, Dani goes to the diner and gets a phone call with Ridge, the dude from the other soap opera. And she thanks him for the offer, but her husband doesn't want to be a part of being in the modeling world. And he tells her about the new fragrance bottle they came up with, but it doesn't change her mind. Basically, they get off the call, and that's when Joey, she sits with him. And that's when Dani basically tries to protect her friend. Like, look, I've known Vanessa for a long time, and she's in a vulnerable place right now. And, well, I know what you're saying. And please, just whatever you have going on between the two of you, just end it now, because when you're the kind of person, whenever something happens, you're not the one who gets burned in the end. And Joey's like, well, yeah, that's because some people do like playing with fire. And what, is Vanessa nothing more than just a pawn for you or someone new for you to conquer? And he's like, and this is low-key the best line of the episode. Well, I mean, it's not like we're drunkenly running off to go to Vegas to get married. So, the crazy thing is, he adds more salt to the wound by putting 10 grand on their marriage, not even making it a full year. And they shake on it, and he jokes that their banter makes them look like they're friends, but she disagrees. And that's the thing. It's like, Carla is the ultimate chemistry magnet in this show, where dang near anyone she's in a scene with, she has chemistry with. And I'm not shipping her and Joey, but I think this is one of the few times we've seen Dani, exchanging words with someone who can hold their own. Basically, is as fast with quips as she is. And I like that. That was really the highlight of the episode for me. But he is on the same page about not hurting her friend. And lo and behold, that's when Vanessa walks in. And Dani's like, well, it's been real, but let's not do it again anytime soon. So as she leaves, Vanessa tells Joey that her son's back at school and she wants to be Joey's partner in every way. Now, despite calling her formidable, he still doesn't want her to be his equal. And she invites him to her place to discuss it. And I think we know what this means. Now, he does say, hey, even though he's deceased, that's Doug's territory. So she tells him, don't worry about it. We'll just go sleep in one of the guest suites. This woman is a piece of work. Beautiful piece of work. Now, we go over to Ashley and Derek's place, and Derek is daydreaming that he's in a tuxedo in his wheelchair, and the day of the wedding is here. Ashley steps out of the bathroom in her wedding dress, and he stands up, shocking her before picking her up. And of course, again, this is a dream. What makes it even funnier is that in real life, Ashley is surprised to see Andre pop over at the hospital. And he's like, yeah, I'm here to see my favorite person. And you can low-key see some excitement on her face. But he's like, oh, I'm here to see my uncle about some digital ads. Oh, okay. So, yeah, about the Halloween party for the little one we birthed or helped deliver on the elevator. What are you wearing? Or what do you bring to the party? And he's like, actually, I'm not going. And he is... Surprisingly enough, is this the first time Andre is the one telling Ashley or reminding her, well, I'm with Dani and you're with Derek. Me and her are committed, so I don't think it's a good idea for me to go. So that's when Ashley is like, well, are you sure she's not in this marriage to get back at her ex? And that's when Andre's like, I mean, their marriage, as unconventional as it is, it works. So he walks away. And shocking. I was like, okay, Andre. So we go over to Uptown, and Lord, Naomi. So Jacob tells Naomi about some dumb criminals who stole an air fryer and some baby clothes, but she's not laughing about it. And he's tired of the friction between them, and she's afraid that things will get worse if they don't discuss it, because like she said a couple episodes ago, look, we just can't start making out and use sex as a way to avoid, anything we don't want to discuss. So she starts drinking wine, and she misses their vibe, and he feels like, you know what, I think we've been off ever since your dad left your mom to be with Haley. So she asked to like do a hard reset and text Ashley to meet him at Uptown. Like let's double date like we used to. So that's when Ashley gets home from work and Derek almost stood on both of his feet, but he drops back into the chair right before she can see him. And he talks about all the things he can't do before, and she gives him another pep talk. But he wants to get back out there into the world, and ironically enough, that's when she's like, well, hey, Naomi just asked us to come out to Uptown. So they arrive and the couples talk. And Naomi just keeps sipping on that good. Now, Derek asks for advice on their wedding day, and from the bar, Isaiah watches them from across the room. That's when Derek's eyes look at Naomi because she's like, talking about different bridal looks. And Jacob points out the look on Derek's face, but that's when Naomi accuses him of taking over the conversation. And it's like, oh, well, dang. So that's when Ashley takes Naomi over to the bar because she's like, yo, what's going on with you? And that's when she tells her that she's not pregnant. And I'm thrilled, but my husband is crushed about it. And over at the table, Jacob and Derek yet again have their discussion about him not telling Ashley about, his legs getting, feeling in him again. And that's when Derek tries to change the subject after telling him to mind his business. Like, so what's up with you and the missus? Like, something's off. And he brings up the pregnancy. Oh my, wait, bro, hold your congratulations. It turns out she's not pregnant. And we agreed on no kids, but, when she told me I was pregnant, I just had this urge to be a father because I was excited. But now that we both know she's not pregnant, it's like a wall between us right now. And Derek ironically says that, well, yeah, so maybe sometimes it's best to keep some things to yourself, huh, buddy? But then low key, that's when Derek thinks that, well, maybe that's what I'm doing by not telling Ashley the truth. Because is it really for the best? It's interesting. I like how they're using one story to influence the other's current predicament. Because Jacob was honest about how he felt about being a father, and it's built up these walls. Derek is semi-questioning, if I withhold the truth from Ashley, will that lead to resentment? I gotta admit, I know a lot of people don't like these characters, but sometimes the writers put a little spice in there when they cook with these scripts for them. Now, that's when Naomi and Ashley get back to the table and she raises a glass and, yeah, to more nights like this. And that's when they joke about the wedding and Naomi is getting more and more tipsy. And you know what, you two? If you realize you're incompatible after you say I do, it's too late because you're stuck. And then Jacob's like, I think we should go. All right, you buzzkill. And then Derek and Ashley are like, oh, maybe we should have stayed at home. So Naomi gets up to go to the restroom, and on her way there, she can barely stand up before she almost topples over and Isaiah catches her. And I ain't gonna hold you. It kind of looked like something was in their eyes. And she was like, wait, you? And then Jacob comes over and, oh, it's my little brother. And then Isaiah's like, yeah, you know me, holding things down when you boys in blue can't keep it together. So, last scene, Dani gets home and Andre's there because I forgot they live together. And she tells him about everything that happened with Ridge, and she appreciates his straightforwardness and admits she encountered someone who's the opposite, someone who doesn't want to be, all out in the open like her. And she admits that she feels like a taker given the fact that, Andre's given her so much and she pressured him into doing this perfume thing. And it's the opposite of honoring you, and she'll respect his wishes, and this thrills him. Now, I've seen some people say that there goes Dani giving up her dream for a man just like before. I think there's a difference here because of the fact that, yes, this is a great opportunity for them both, but Andre isn't really made for the spotlight like you. Now, granted, I'm speaking from the perspective of who we know Andre to be up until this point in the show, minus the realization that, oh no, he hasn't been in front of the camera in like a year. I don't really care about that. It's just that I know for me personally, I had a heated discussion with a friend last week about, ironically enough, I saw some family I haven't seen in a while. the last weekend. And it wasn't a, well, Jeremy, when are you going to get married conversation. It was like, well, you have an interesting job. Well, I mean, have you ever thought about what if you ever got into a relationship with a girl who was a content creator as well? And I never really thought about it. I know there are some pros and cons. I mean, to have someone that understood me would be great. That doesn't necessarily mean she does YouTube. She could either do TikTok. She could be a blogger. I don't know, because content creation has so many layers to it. But then I talked with a friend about it, and no, this isn't a friend. I asked her like, hey, you want to be my girlfriend? No, it was a female friend. And we talked about it because I brought up the subject, and she's like, well, what was your answer? I'm like, I don't know. I feel like from my experience in terms not of dating other content creators, but people I've seen, it almost feels like any couple that starts a podcast or like a YouTube channel together, it's almost like you're putting an expiration date on your relationship. And 9 times out of 10, I've seen couples like break up. Sometimes even people of notoriety online. And I mean, there are cases where couples do work out. But hey, I just know for me that when it comes to a relationship, you got to respect the other person's feelings. I mean, Dani wanting to do this and then... Wait. I think Pam and Dani asked Andre about modeling way back when Pam and Dani first started to do their agency, when they were really trying to get anybody they can think of who could be a model for them. And Andre's like, nah, I'm good. So, yeah, I don't think this is a bad thing. I don't. Now, would it have been sweet for Andre to appease his wife? Absolutely. And come on. I think if Dani really thought about it, wait, if me and my new husband are the faces of this new perfume line, us kissing and all is going to be everywhere, and that would get under Bill's. Well, then again, Bill is already going to be sick to his stomach with this dang poison, so I don't know. But I just don't feel like Andre should be villainized because he doesn't want to do something like this. I'm just saying. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.